I never thought that it was possible to feel so scared and excited, so certain and so unsure all at the same time. But honestly, that is the best way that I can describe the way that I feel right now. The reason is because yesterday, on Friday, I got in my car and I left a regular 9-to-5 job for the last time. That's what we're going to be talking about today on Farmertylerranch. So to start and kind of tell this story and how I ended up here, I think that I should start with a little bit of background. I'm 37 years old, married. I've got 2 young kids, and I took over the family ranch here. And, it was a long transition, but I would say by 2006 or 7, I was pretty much doing everything out here. But that wasn't a burden for me because I always loved working out here. I always loved coming out here. I have known since I was a child that I wanted to work here. I wanted to do this. But I was always sort of told and under the impression that, this small ranch was not ever going to be enough to sustain off of. I wouldn't be able to make enough money here to support a family or even myself. Of course, when I was being told that as a child, things were different. We didn't have the multiple revenue streams that we have now. And YouTube's been a big part of that, not only in the revenue that I get from that, but also in seeing how other people do things around the country and seeing the ways that small farms can sort of carve out their own niche and make it work. I graduated from college in 2009, I think, actually. Now it's kind of embarrassing because I don't actually remember. It was either 08 or 09. It was somewhere in there. And I was excited to start putting all of my newfound knowledge to work out here and try out some of the concepts and ideas that I'd learned there. The problem is that while I was doing the job that I was doing then, I didn't really have enough time to dedicate here as much as I would have liked. So I just kind of did enough to get by, and so it went. That was fine for several years. I enjoyed the job that I was doing, which was driving tractors and doing other sorts of farm work for another farmer. And even though I didn't make a lot of money during that time in my life, I value those years a lot because I learned a lot about how to make hay and how to do things on the farm outside of what I've learned here from my grandpa. Fast forward a couple years because I feel like I'm starting to drag this out a little bit, but once I got married and my wife was pregnant with our first child, I knew that I was going to have to start bringing home some more money. I'd gotten another job now in metal fabrication at a rice dryer, which was a little bit more lucrative than driving tractors, but still, when you have a new one on the way, you do kind of feel like you need to really maximize your earning potential. And it was about this time that I really started getting into YouTube and watching a lot of different channels and kind of thinking like, man, I think I could do this. I want to do this. But when my wife got pregnant and little Macy was on the way, I decided now's the time. We're going to go for it. I started my channel a little over 3 years ago, I think. And it took a while before I was able to reach the point where I could monetize it. But what I realized in that time is that I actually really enjoyed doing this. I like making the videos. I even like editing the videos. I've had fun making the music for the videos. All that stuff that might feel like a job to some people, I really liked doing it. I enjoyed it. Growing the channel was one thing that I knew I wanted to do, and I knew that it would help propel me to my ultimate goal. But there were other things that had to be considered as well. Things like saving some money, trying to get out of debt. Those sorts of things are huge. You don't really think about it when you're young, or at least I didn't. But over the last 3 or 4 years, my wife and I have both been working hard to get everything paid off with the exception of our house. And I think we have gotten there. The first thing I bought when I graduated college was this New Holland, and I did take a loan out on that. I think that was the first thing that I got paid off. This tractor here I paid cash for. The side-by-sides paid off. Cars are paid off. It took a lot of work and a lot of being good with our money, and it's not something that we did overnight, certainly. This took us years to achieve, but we finally got most of our debt paid off, and that's actually a pretty good feeling. Growing the channel, getting out of debt, those were huge, but all the while, the other goal, the other kind of piece to this puzzle was growing the farm business. I originally used to only butcher like 1 or 2 steers a year, and that's what Grandpa and I did forever, you know, because we would have enough for the family, and then a couple guys would split the other one, and we never really attempted to grow it beyond that, and that's just what it was. We've branched out from just doing steers to now pigs, chickens, and every year as I grow more pigs than I did last year, keep more steers than I did the year before, I found that if I work at it, if I get the word out that the market is there, you have to get out and find it. Things are starting to finally line up and reach a point where I feel like I'm ready to make the next big leap. None of this is really possible without the support that we've had from our viewers, and that comes not only in just you guys watching the videos, but in all the well wishes, all the nice comments that you guys leave. Companies that we've partnered with, like Redmond, everything that has happened in that arena, just with how awesome my audience is, has been a total surprise. I want to thank you guys for that. It's totally unexpected and totally awesome, so thank you. Yesterday was my last day at my normal job. I certainly didn't hate that job. I didn't dislike anyone that I worked with. The reason that I left, well, it had nothing to do with being unhappy, really. It was more that I was just unhappy that I wasn't doing what I knew I wanted to be doing, which was working here. A few times my wife and I had talked about, well, you know, maybe try to find a different job, maybe you'll be happier there. But what I always would come back to is that no matter where I work, I'm not going to be happy. I want to work for myself, and I want to do it here. Once I made the decision to go out on my own, you definitely have a moment. Like when I turned in my 2 weeks notice, I didn't feel happy and excited right in that moment. Your heart's pounding, your stomach's kind of in turmoil. That's how I felt when I was doing that. And now that I've had some time to sit with the decision and kind of know that there's no going back, I'm starting to feel a lot more excited and optimistic about it. And I almost feel like this whole world of opportunity has just opened up for me. I'm just so excited that I'll finally be able to put everything into this place and be able to manage it the way that I've always wanted to manage it, but I've just never had time. Stuff like daily moves with the cows. I want to bring my meat chickens out here. I want to spend more time investing in the ground, making the soil healthier. Just all these things that I've just never had time to do. So moving forward, what are things going to look like now? There's going to be changes to the ranch. There's going to be changes to the YouTube channel. There's going to be, changes across the board. So let's talk about that. With the ranch, I just kind of want to keep doing the same, but keep moving forward. Like I just mentioned, I've got a ton of projects that need to get done around here. So I want to just do that first. I want to try to up my pig production this year. I want to up my poultry production this year. That will be documented on the channel. There's also a ton of shop projects that I've been kind of kicking around in my head of stuff that I would like to do. We're not going to shift like completely over to shop videos, but there will be more of them because my plan is to do more videos as well. It looks like most people that take this whole YouTube thing seriously do about 3 videos a week, And that is, I guess, my goal. I'm gonna be working with my dad a little bit at my parents' orchard, so we might get some videos about that. So that's where we're at. This first year is definitely gonna be the most nerve-wracking, I think. We might have to dip into our savings a little bit to make ends meet while we're growing all these different things. I'm not really sure. I mean, obviously I don't know how it's gonna go. But I think I've got, we've put ourselves in a good enough position, and I think I've got a good enough plan moving forward that we have a reasonable chance at success. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't do this if I didn't think that I could. In fact, while I was sort of, struggling with when is the time to jump, when is the time to do this, I was looking for things to motivate me, things to inspire me, and a lot of which I found on YouTube. And the two sayings that I guess sort of stuck in my head the most was, one, you only get one chance at life, so do it right. And then the other one is, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And that one kind of gives me goosebumps when I say it, because it's like, yeah, fear is what holds us back. If I wasn't afraid, if I knew with total certainty that everything was going to work out fine, this is what I would do.